What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Monday, May 13th, 2024, and we are here with another midday stream here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will greatly appreciate that. Shout out to all of my patrons over there on Patreon, all the members over here, everybody who sends me stories, everyone in the Discord, people who follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and all of that good stuff. So, as y'all can see by the title and the amount of people that are in here so far, and I'm just now beginning to speak, we all know why we are gathered here today. We are here to talk about another major wake-up call to occur in this year of 2024. And it's crazy because Kid Gravity always talks about November the 5th. It's only the 5th month of the year on the 13th day. We're not even close to November the 5th yet, and all these wake-up calls are just spewing out like clockwork, and it seems like they've been happening since the beginning of the year. But before we go ahead and get into everything, let me acknowledge the people who are here so far. We have Firebat, Jerry Bedford, Pi May, Wallow J, Reparations Nations, Bills Fan 1970, Haxon KT, Pelican Mob Boss, Queen Imani Huey, Denise Scales, Aid Maya, CJ, Kels 517, Cosma Fury, and also shout out to Cosma for that dope mac and cheese recipe. That's the picture y'all saw me post on the community tab yesterday. Savion Draco Zero, AO God, Lemonade, 7 Sam Ham, Don P. Ben, Patricia Jones, Robert C., Majin Diabe, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Forgive me if I didn't. Sovereign Black, Yermiya Ben Israel, Mr. Williams, Grape Shot, the My Voice Channel, Travis Tippins, Gloria Curry, Stay Positive, JJ Mars, Kane the Bad Guy, LW Levon, West 1, Zeramar, Sun Kissed by the Most High, NP7, Terrence Hooker. Speaking of Kid Gravity, there he is right there. Shout out to Kid Gravity. Ricky T. Kendall. I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly, but forgive me if I didn't. J.N. Black by popular demand. Chris Vesey, Astarte Jones. Till Dog 12, Eternitine Forever. Phantom Beat, and Sunkissed by the Most High. Shout out to everybody that is here so far. We are almost at 200 people in here, and we haven't even really gotten started yet. So I'm sure many of you have already seen the video in which we are about to discuss, but there is another video that I'm going to show y'all on top of this one. Now, the one that I'm going to show y'all is about 10 minutes long of a 1 hour, I guess you can say, interview. If y'all want to go and check that out and hear the commentary with that one, go and check out Kid Gravity's channel because he went over the whole thing. But I'm only going to cover the part that, you know, y'all came here to see. And shout out to the 208 people that is here so far. So the first thing I'm going to bring up, well, to preface it, Ramen Noodle invited Ann Coulter, aka Skeletor, onto his show, and she basically told him about himself. And it was a glorious sight to see. It was a very glorious sight to see. So I'm going to go ahead now and bring this up, and we will go ahead and discuss.
During, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president, but I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. There is a core national identity that is the identity.
So y'all heard what she just said right there. She said, I still would not have voted for you because you are an Indian. Now, the video cut off the first part before that where Ann Coulter had made a dig at Black people, but we're not surprised by that because we've been known Ann Coulter is anti-Black, always has been, always will be, where she made the thing about articulation. And what have we told you? When they say something about articulation and you're so articulate, don't take that as a compliment. Of course, he probably did because she made a dig at Black Americans, in which he chuckled because he thought that was so funny. But the minute she said what y'all just heard about her not voting for him, even though he could have had good policies, I'm not voting for you because you're Indian. That face that you see on your screen right now is exactly the face that he made. So he thought it was funny when she said something about us, but the minute she turned it back on to him, then it was a problem. I want people to know bootlicks aren't just black people. I want y'all to hear that. I want y'all to understand this. Ramen noodles is definitely a bootlick for the GOP, or at least he tries to be. And he got his whole card pulled on this day. Y'all are killing me with the 7-Elevens in the chat.
Of the WASP. And that doesn't mean we can't take anyone else in, a Sri Lankan or a Japanese.
Oh, and another thing, KG and everyone in the chat, what did I tell y'all? And I want to see who's been paying attention to what I've been saying over the last year about this dude. What did I say Ramen Noodles was going to do if he either lost the election, if he got that far, which we knew he wasn't, or dropped out of the campaign? What is something I said he was going to do if he dropped out? It was something I told you he was going to do if he dropped out. And it came into fruition. It happened. Chris Vesey is on it. Start a podcast. What is this? This is his podcast. I called it. I said, this man, y'all can go back and look at any video I did about this man over the last year. And I always said it. I said, if this man drops out of this race, he's going to start a podcast. And what is this right here? This is his podcast. This is his platform. He didn't go to her. He invited her. And shout out to JN for the 10. He said it's ironic because America has already shown they'll vote for a man of color before an Anglo woman. Ask Hillary. She's crying for acceptance from the white man, just like Vivek. Shout out to you for the 10. Just wanted to say that, sometimes I get tired of being right all the time, but then again, I don't. Especially when it comes to individuals like this. And shout out to, oh snap, I got 3 subscribers back to back. Shout out to RG Bailey, Michael Holmes, and Steed. Shout out to y'all. We at 343, and we only 26 seconds into the first video, because there's another video I'm gonna show you too that is not dealing with Ann Coulter, but another person who I've talked about on my channel, and this person checked ramen noodles as well.
Or an Indian, but the core around which the nation's values are formed is the WASP. We've never had a president who didn't have at least partial English ancestry. Never.
Did y'all see what Ann just did? Now she keeps bringing up WASP. But for those of y'all who don't know what WASP is, that's basically white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. But did y'all catch what she just said? She says we've never had a president that did not have at least some kind of foundation to the land. Basically saying, ramen noodles, you do not qualify because your family got over here in the 80s. And they're from India. So if you think for 1 second you will be president, you are sadly mistaken.
Who didn't have at least partial English ancestry. Never.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's an interesting tour through that historical lane, but I want to pick on one point you said, which is citizenship, right? Let's talk about what does it mean to be a citizen of a nation. And it's interesting, if a lot of people trip up on this, they'll say, well, it means what you get, right? Do I get to vote, or do I get some other claim? And
that's funny that he's talking about voting. Didn't he just vote didn't he just vote for the first time, was it the last election? Or 2 elections ago? Was it the last election? Or when 45 went up against Hillary, something like that? I find that very interesting.
Doesn't really work. Actually, if you look through most of American history,
the fact that he even kept talking to her after she said what she said about I wouldn't vote for you if you was an Indian shows how spineless and a jellyback this dude actually is. He actually just made the GOP look even weaker than it is by him doing that. And shout out to Tamal I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Forgive me if I'm not. It says Miss Ann basically told Vivek, "Thank you, come again." Appreciate it.
For example, women were citizens long before women could vote, right? And so it's not about what you get. In my book, and I think that this is true with the American conception of citizenship, I think it's true of the Roman conception of citizenship, is it's about your loyalty, actually.
Yes.
To whom do you actually pledge loyalty? And so I think
here's the thing. This is how you know ramen noodles doesn't get it. It's like you can talk about this pledging the loyalty and all this, that, and the third, but Ann literally told you at the beginning of this interview she would not vote for you because you're Indian. You could have some of the best policies. Shoot, you could have found the cure for cancer. But she still wouldn't support you because you're Indian. What part of that did you not get? I think from then on, she probably tuned out everything this dude said. And that's why it just goes into just a bunch of babble for like a good hour.
But I share that in common, actually. I don't know, I've never asked you this, Ann, but I assume from seeing the things you said, tell me if I'm right about this, you're probably against the existence of dual citizenship as a concept. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yes. You and I share that in common.
Outrageous.
It's incoherent. It's not just outrageous. It's incoherent. It's oxymoronic. How could you possibly have a loyalty to two different nations where the essence of citizenship is which nation to whom you had your undivided loyalty? That's what the essence of citizenship is all about. So you and I agree on so much there. But where I wouldn't say lose you, but I may fail to fully understand you, is on that axis of citizenship, what does ethnicity have to do with the matter? And I think you would be well served, and maybe this could be a great platform for you to do it, to make the case for why that, what you put at WASP basis for the American identity, how is that relevant against a backdrop of which you got the WASP seventh generation descendant of some rich guy on the Upper East Side in Brooklyn that pretends to hate this country because it's the cool thing to do, versus somebody who came here as the kid of immigrants, but pledges loyalty to this country? If loyalty was the axis for citizenship, aren't you actually committing a bit of...
See, now he's playing this game. Oh, I'm better than the person who's actually born from here just because I decide to say how good America is versus the person who's from here who says that America has some flaws. See, this guy is living inside of that Beavis and Butthead shaped head of his that he's not dwelling in reality. He's not living in reality. He's in La La Land somewhere. Like his head is somewhere in the Milky Way. That's where it's at. Remember, this is the same guy that thinks that he's better than people who are born, who are foundational to the land just because he can recite the preamble. And you're first generation born. And like Kid Gravity said in the chat, your dad is here illegally. We ain't forget about that.
A sin reverting back to a conception of citizenship that has nothing to do with loyalty in the first place.
Well, I will say many of those seventh generations WASP I definitely hate. I know we have a lot of really, really bad ones, but like I said, anyone can adopt this. I guess what I just said, if any of your children marry a DAR, I would definitely vote for.
And if y'all don't know what DAR is, when she said that's Daughters of the American Revolution,
them for president. It's not so much, it's more president is different. You have to be natural born, as you know, which, by the way, Ted Cruz is not, basically because of what you were just describing. Where is the loyalty? So ambassadors' children born actually in the United States are not natural born, but that's a total sidebar. I've gotten
It's actually not a sidebar at all. I mean, the fact that ambassadors' kids born in the United States are not citizens is actually an overlooked fact. The kid of an ambassador from Mexico does not enjoy birthright citizenship. Neither does somebody who's in this country illegally.
Yes.
Birthright citizenship either, right?
You see how she responded to him? That was not a yes in agreement. That was a yes, like in a condescending tone. Like, yes, like you actually got it. Like, thank you, Captain Obvious. That's what I just said. Why are you repeating what I just said? That's literally what I just said. I didn't need you to break it down. That's how and he still doesn't catch it. He still doesn't catch it.
So that's actually a quite important logical chain. But I go back to, forget even because you get to this constitutional, legalistic, and I like that stuff, but we'll just put that to one side for a second. But the essence of American identity, I think there's a part of you that believes, I think you basically said so, that part of that identity is tied to a certain Anglo-Saxon heritage of this country, and that you're more American if you've vested into that over the course of generations that are descended from that, rather than somebody who came here with a civic commitment to the country, went through the naturalization process, and then their kids.
In other words, Ramen Noodles is talking about his family. He's talking about his mom and his dad, but remember, his dad is not here, is not legal. His mother is, but his dad is not. That's really what he's trying to make a claim. This is a guy that's literally on his platform practically begging for PC acceptance from a woman that just said, I would not vote for you because you're Indian. And shout out to Zaramar for the 5. They said, never forget the UK invited Indians to help rebuild their country after World War II, and they were treated and handled worse than garbage by the British. I appreciate the 5. That's literally what he's doing. He's literally begging to be accepted by them. And we got 710 people in here. Can we crack 1,000 today? That would be amazing. And we only almost 21 minutes in, and we not even halfway through the first video. Shout out to y'all.
I mean, some real sense of the word. And the reason I respect you is that you actually have the, so to speak, the stones to be able to say it, is that you think that there's a difference in the status of the Americanness of that person. And that's where I think I disagree with you, but I want to give you the opportunity to air the case for that strand of national identity that I think we ought to just smoke out and be able to have a discussion about.
Well, the reason I mentioned the natural-born citizen is I'm only talking about President of the United States. So obviously the framers thought there was something different about being president, the one man who holds one entire branch of government in his hands. It isn't to say anything about who could be a Supreme Court justice, and they have a little more power than the president, by the way, or Secretary of State or governor, or obviously senator or any other position, but president.
Oh, let me rewind that because I didn't catch that, but let me replay what she just said about the Supreme Court, because I thought that was interesting what she just said. I thought that was funny to me. And if y'all didn't catch, I'll break it down.
President of the United States. So obviously the framers thought there was
the opportunity to air the case for that strand of national identity that I think we ought to just smoke out and be able to have a discussion about.
Well, the reason I mentioned the natural-born citizen is I'm only talking about President of the United States. So obviously the framers thought there was something different about being president, the one man who holds one entire branch of government in his hands. It isn't to say anything about who could be a Supreme Court justice, and they have a little more power than the president, by the way.
Okay, so for those who didn't catch it, because I had to rewind it back because I missed it, but I caught it. When she brought up the Supreme Court, she basically she insulted his intelligence right there. She basically said the Supreme Court justice who has a little bit more power than the president. She's basically telling him, why are you even trying to run for president when you can just, I don't know, be a Supreme Court person? And she's telling him that way you can have some kind of position, you just won't be the face. That's what she's telling y'all. We have 802 people in here, 818 on a Monday afternoon. Shout out to y'all.
Or Secretary of State or governor, or obviously senator or any other position, but president, and I guess by extension, vice president. That is something that the framers did think was so important that you had this deep generation-wide loyalty. And why would they think that? Well, as many said at the time.
One thing I noticed too is Ramen Noodles has not smiled at all since before Ann had mentioned Black Americans in articulation. And that was at the beginning of the video. If y'all look at the full interview, it's like over an hour long. That was within the first the first 30 seconds. Ever since then, he's had this screw face the entire time.
freedom is a wonderful thing, but it's a very hard thing to learn. And one of the things, and I cite these polls in my book, Adios America, it's striking and depressing that lots of our very best immigrants just do not understand the Second Amendment. They do not get the First Amendment. And you take polls of them, should you have a right to bear arms? Should hate speech be banned? And it's noticeable that large percentages of immigrants and children of immigrants
oh my God. These little subtle digs that she oh man. Woo! I gotta rewind that one back. That was funny.
Well, as many said at the time, freedom is a wonderful thing, but it's a very hard thing to learn. And one of the things, and I cite these polls in my book, Adios America, it's striking and depressing that lots of our very best immigrants just do not understand the Second Amendment. They do not get the First Amendment. And you take polls of them, should you have a right to bear arms? Should hate speech be banned? And it's noticeable that large percentages of immigrants and children of immigrants.
That was funny. She says, children of immigrants, that was another dig at him. A dig at his family and a dig at him.
Really don't get that. And I think that is the point of having natural born citizen only for president, that this is a really delicate thing we have, this freedom to bear arms and there being no such thing as hate speech. And it's just an additional little safeguard.
Here's my question for you on that is, because the left is actually very good at using what I call proxy logic. I reject proxy logic, but the left is actually very good at this. They'll say we need diversity in a corporate institution. So we're going to select for diversity of thought, not by screening candidates for the diversity of their thoughts, but by screening them for the diversity of their skin color, which is a really curious thing. If you care about diversity of thought in a boardroom, why do you care about diversity of shades of melanin or the diversity of your X or Y chromosome? I
think this is the first time I ever heard this man say melanin. I never heard him say it any other time. I think this is the first time I ever heard him say that.
You could have
y'all, we just crossed 1,000 subscribers. I mean 1,000 live viewers. For the first time ever, we crossed 1,000. We are at 1,011. That is crazy. That is, hold on, I gotta screenshot this. Hold on, I gotta screenshot this. Hold on, y'all. That's crazy. Okay, got it. Let's get back to it.
Room full of people that look really similar to one another and think very differently, or a room full of people that look really different and think the same, which is much of what you get in corporate America today. So that's what I call reasoning by proxy, where one of the things I've often said to the left is if you want to select for diversity of thought, screen candidates for the diversity of their thoughts. If you want to select for diversity of experience, screen candidates for the diversity of their experiences. That might be a better way of achieving your stated goal than to use the logic of proxy. So again, the constitutional questions to aside, I think we're talking about a cultural matter relating to national identity. My question for you is, I worry that you may, I say this respectfully, maybe making some of the same category error that our friends on the left make to say that, yes, it is shameful that immigrants and kids of immigrants often have no idea what the heck the Bill of Rights is actually about, that the Second Amendment.
See, the thing is, he's still going on this trajectory of this left-right thing. Ramen noodles, if you don't take anything from what I say, and I know you probably don't know who I am, and that's fine. Left wing, right wing, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, two wings attached to the same buzzard. You are the only one up here right now that think they are two different things. The only difference is the mascot and the color, red and blue. The mascot being the donkey and the elephant. But a lot of their stances are very much the same. They just go about them very differently.
Exists not to protect some guy who wants to go sport hunting, but it's the one amendment that puts the teeth in all of the other ones. These are basic concepts that many immigrants, first-generation Americans, and for that matter, I could say it from having gone to school with many of the WASP varieties that populate places like Harvard too, where I've gone, goes for any sixth or seventh generation American too. It's shameful, the level of civic absence of knowledge, a black hole of understanding of the history of our country. And I guess my question for you is, why solve for that through what I would argue is a pretty poor proxy, whether or not you're talking about a safeguard? If there could be a safeguard to ensure that you have leaders in this country or citizens of this country that have a better understanding of that, I would love that safeguard. I personally believe that every high school senior should have to be able to pass a basic civics test, the one we ask immigrants to pass before.
That's another thing why I knew he wasn't going to make it far. You asking people who are actually born here to pass something that immigrants have to pass? That's not how this works. And you wonder why you didn't get very far. Like, he's literally telling you a policy that he would have put in place if he was to become president. Why do high school students who were born here, who are not immigrants, have to pass a test that's administered to immigrants? That's not how that works.
Becoming a voting citizen of this country, before you cast that ballot in a ballot box, you better darn.
You just voted in 2020, 4 years ago. What are you talking about? Most people voted when they turned 18. You voted in your mid-30s.
Know what branch of government the president leads, and yet you actually have more people who would fail the test that naturalized citizens are likely to pass who aren't even naturalized citizens. Why not solve for the actual target that you and I both care about, which is loyalty and an understanding of what you're actually pledging loyalty to, rather than using what I would argue is a left-like false proxy target that you use to solve for the same thing?
It isn't really true that the seventh generation WASPs are voting worse than the immigrants. One of the problems with the immigrants we've been taking in, actually probably any immigrant, but definitely 90% of legal immigrants come from the third world.
See, the subtle digs, y'all. Like, my goodness, she always got to slip it in. My goodness. They're used to authoritarian governments. They block votes. And every 4 years, I have to hear about how, no, I think we're going to take the Hispanic vote this year. I think we're going to get the Asian vote. No, you're not Republicans. Every election is decided by slight movements of the white vote. There it is. There it is. Remember, I did a video, was it last week maybe, talking about how the GOP had a minority outreach program, which I didn't know they had, and how they got rid of it. Ramen Noodles, if he was part of that group, he would be on the outside looking in right now. Y'all, we got 1,128 people in here so far, and we still got a little bit more of this video to go and another video after this. Shout out to everybody that's in here right now. Like, this is amazing.
Now, the fact that the white vote is that close, yeah, okay, I hate 50% of them, but they're the ones who change their mind and look at the different candidates. It's much more easy to boss around people who have come from an authoritarian culture. And yes, take your point that this is, at least for this one position, president, you are looking at something other than just what the person actually believes. But nobody really knows what a person actually believes. So why not have a fail safe? I want to hear you say it. And I'd also be more comfortable if you're third generation and have some English or, British blood in you.
Oh. Man. Woo! Okay. All right, y'all. So that was the first video right there. Like I said, the interview itself is way longer than that, but the whoever edited this wanted to pull the parts where she was giving the digs towards him, and it equaled out to like 10 plus minutes. So that's the first video. Now there's another video that I'm gonna show y'all. I don't think some of y'all may have seen it. Maybe you did because it was on X. I don't know if KG saw it, but it's a video where I guess after this interview, he went and decided to gypsy his way over to Matt Walsh, and that he didn't fare no better over there. Now, Matt Walsh is another person who I've talked about on my channel before. He's another anti-Black individual. But one thing I can say about Ann Coulter in particular is, like someone said in the chat earlier, she wears her white supremacy on her sleeve, meaning she's overt with it. She's not covert at all. She couldn't be covert if she tried. She really couldn't. And we tell people all the time that that's how we prefer you to be, so we don't have to try to figure out who you are. We don't have to try to dissect. You just give it straight to us. Keep in mind, this is the same woman that used to date Jimmy J.J. Walker from Good Times, and she used to be with Dinesh D'Souza, a person who's Indian himself. So let me pull up the Matt Walsh one.
Can act.
Let me rewind it back a little bit. Now, this video is a little bit shorter. This one's about 3 minutes. It's not as long as the Ann Coulter one.
Why am I the only person who can actually offer legal argument for why we should be able to end birthright citizenship without a constitutional amendment? And so the irony to me is,
I can answer that.
Yeah.
It's because of the color of your skin.
What? There it is. Now, this is Matt Walsh. Oh, Steven Crowder. Okay, my best. Listen, y'all forgive me. I get them mixed up. You've seen one, you've seen them all. You heard one, you heard them all. Steven Crowder. Now, this guy right here. The last time we heard about Steven Crowder, he was having some marital issues. I'm sure some of y'all done seen the video with his pregnant wife at home. I'm sure y'all looked that up. Let me rewind. Oh, I won't rewind it. Let me rewind it. That was,
can actually
he came straight out the gate with that one.
Offer legal argument for why we should be able to end birthright citizenship without a constitutional amendment. And so the irony to me is,
I can answer that.
Yeah.
It's because of the color of your skin.
Man, these haymakers that he got from Ann Coulter, now he getting it from Steven Crowder. Now, I don't know which one happened first. I don't know if it was the Ann Coulter one or this one, but they look close in proximity. I mean, the house of cards are literally just tumbling and crumbling all around him. Let's continue.
And I don't mean that I'm saying you are inoculated. You know, for someone who looks like she's straight from the hip.
I disagree with that. I'm going to be back at you, Steve. I'm going to hit you hard for that. That is because the rest of you are freaking lazy. And
cowards.
The conservative movement has grown lazy. Cowards. People in this country have common sense.
Well, they both agree on one thing. They're both cowards. I mean, I won't knock them for that one. And shout out to the over 1,300 people that's in this chat right now. Make sure y'all go ahead and smash that like button, hit that share button. Let them know we are live on a Monday afternoon, and it's not even 1 o'clock yet.
Sense. What we really lack is courage.
Yes.
So I'm not going to buy some BS that like my last name or my skin color insulates me. Think about it. I had to step down.
No, but that's the perception. You have balls, but other people won't criticize you.
But let's just level at this. We're having some fun here. I stepped down from a CEO of a company, multi-billion-dollar company that I founded, led as CEO, built it from scratch, wasn't born into money, and had a choice to do what every other biotech CEO was doing in the wake of George Floyd. Chose not to.
Why did you have to bring up? That's going to actually segue into the last thing I'm going to show y'all, and then I'm going to drop the link.
Do it, did not issue a statement in favor of BLM, because saving this country involves some measure of sacrifice.
Yeah.
So to somebody, I get this from white friends all the time, good-hearted people, it's like, I love that you can say it because I can't. My answer is bullshit. You're just a coward.
Ooh, Ramen Noodle got a little sassy up there. Has he been watching Roly Poly? Has he been watching the Wet Yam? I don't think I've ever heard this man cuss. I don't even think I've heard him even say words that are in the Bible. He is heated. Man. Oh, this is a good day, y'all. This is a great day.
Stand up and actually say it.
Yep.
Stand for your actual convictions, because if you can't stand for your convictions, you don't have any at all.
But the issue is no one else does say it. Right? We say it on this show, right? And then we take the arrows. Let me give you a very clear example. I come from Quebec. And the reason I say this,
take the arrows. Don't cry about it. Like that's
no,
part
I'm
of
not crying about it. I'm saying as far as the Republican Party, the Republican Party. Why aren't they saying it? I am giving you your answer. That is the answer. It's white guilt. It's not.
So we need to no
their
longer be
white
cowards.
guilt. Hold on, let me finish here. This is important in Quebec, and this goes to Ann Coulter's point. The only
So now that just answered my question, I was asking, was this after the Ann Coulter interview when he just said right there confirmed
people who feel they can't say it because they've been told they can't say it are WASPs in this country. Quebec, they created language laws. They had the language police to enforce it. And by the way, this was copied across the world. This was copied across the world. It said, oh, wow, we can do this because we want to preserve a culture, French, namely French European culture, right, Acadian culture in Quebec. And they created these language laws, which, by the way, were discriminatory against English-speaking Canadians. No one has a problem with it anywhere else except in white United States of America because they've been told they can't. Now, I don't subscribe to that, but I will tell you this. My frustration is everyone in the Republican Party, save for you and maybe Donald Trump, it's a white guilt thing. They feel they can't say English because people say, do you mean white? And they go, no, 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 no. And they're pussies.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to know what the one nation is that's spoken in other countries? Low language is spoken in India is English. Yeah. So why should we worry about that in the United States of America when actually that creates coherence in our nation? And so here's what I'll say is no excuses for anybody anymore. If you have your own convictions, speak your mind in the open. Actually start standing for it. Don't.
It's funny Ramen Noodle says that because that's exactly what Ann Coulter said. It was speaking her mind about you in that whole over an hour interview that y'all did. And you had no smoke for her whatsoever. And now everybody can see the slip. Everyone can see your girdle. Everybody. And now we can use this against you. And we will. And we will use this against you. Yeah, Denise. Stephen Crowder, he's from Canada. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting?
Assume it's somebody else's responsibility and don't make excuses for yourself for not doing it either.
All right, so that takes care of that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all this tweet. Let me share my screen right quick. Let me show y'all this. Okay. So you have right here. Now, this is from Ramen Noodle's X account. He said, Ann Coulter told me flat out to my face that she couldn't vote for me because you're an Indian. Even though she agreed with me more than most other candidates, I disagreed with her, but respect she had the guts to speak her mind. It was a riveting hour. The Truth podcast is back. Now, what's very interesting is that when he was on the Breakfast Club last year, and he was sitting across from Teslin Figaro, and she was questioning him about some things, and she was doing it in the most respectful manner. She didn't say anything about his race and being Indian, none of that. She didn't do what Ann Coulter did. He had so much more smoke for her, and so did his so-called fans. But when he talks to Ann Coulter, and Ann Coulter basically said what she said, oh, I respect that she had the guts to speak her mind, and the hour was riveting, and the Truth podcast is back. Spineless, jellyback, coward. So that's the excuse me. That's the first part. But now I'm gonna show you what this guy Ted Lieu said. And when you see the response Ramen Noodles gave to this, that really puts a lot of stuff into perspective. So this guy Ted Lieu said, "I wasn't surprised that Ann Coulter made a racist statement about Vivek. What surprised me is the weakness and lack of self-respect that he had. He's actually promoting this episode and praising the person who spewed raw racism to his face." So when I tell you that they are seeing it and they're seeing it in real time, and he literally got exposed the way that he did, everyone sees it. That's why he has to go back to his so-called truth podcast, because his political career is done. Honestly, I think it was done before he even started. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is this part right here, which is exactly why we've been talking about this dude for the last year or so. So this is the response. Let me zoom in so y'all can really see it. Look at what he wrote in response. "Here's a crazy thought. I believe in having respectful conversations with people I disagree with, on the left and the right. It's ironic to see this coming from Ted Lieu, who didn't say a peep about," get this, y'all, "Black on Asian violence during the pandemic. Was that weakness or fear? Probably both. Why did you feel the need to bring us into it?" And it was a lot of Black people on X that was clowning him and asking him that same question. Why did you feel you needed to bring Black people into this? Black people had no place in this response, but he felt the need to throw that in there. And we know how much they over propagandize that thing as far as this goes, what I have highlighted. But he felt the need to bring us into the equation. We live rent-free.
Actually offer legal argument.
Hold on, y'all. Remove the wrong thing. We live rent-free in their heads. No matter how much he bootlicks at this point, it's over. It's done. It is over with. Shout out to PD that remains. He sent the tweet. He says she literally put her middle finger at him with a smirk. Right. Spider-Man and his amazing friend, shout out to you for the 5. He says Indians will act like they never heard of this man in the future. Some of them probably don't even know who he is now. And shout out to Black Logic for the 20. He says these people will do anything and say anything to be white accepted, even in the face of disrespect and racism. Right. And let this be also, let me say this before I put the link in. Let this be a lesson to all of the Black grifters, conservatives, especially the ones that were talked about in that book. The same thing that happened with ramen noodles can happen to you too. Quiet as it's kept, it probably did happen to you, but you were slow on the uptake. You wasn't trying to lose those funds. But I told y'all he was going to go back to that podcast, and KG said he actually kind of kicked the podcast off during the campaign. Oh, that just means, furthermore, he saw the writing on the wall. All right, y'all. So I just dropped the link in the chat, but let me go ahead and pin it, and then y'all can come on up. All right, let me take this off the screen. Wallow J, what's going on?
What's up, man? What's up, chat? Salute to the 1,500 in the chat. Before I get started, it was a comment in the chat on AAE. I don't know if you saw it, Torian. He said that this is black men's fault for letting them in the barbershop. No, that's not the case. Because trust me, dude, he was always like that. The guy, he wanted to go in there and talk. Hey, we can talk, but he would have been like that regardless. He went to a black barbershop. But anyway, let me get to my point, my real point. This was so enjoyable because this is what they really think about you. All you Indians, all you Hispanics, all you Hispanic whites, especially you Asians. This is exactly what they feel about you. Ann Coulter said the quiet part out loud, and she did not hold back. And for Vivek to go use black people in that tweet that I saw, I know Tariq had reposted it and he said something about it. When you go do that just confirms you ain't nothing but a big giant curry pussy. That's all he is. You want to sit there and get mad at everybody else but yourself. You should have checked her right then and there. But I guarantee you, if that was a black woman or a black man who said what they said to you, you would have been all over social media, all over Fox News and CNN talking about how black people are racist. But once Ann Coulter said, oh, it's fine. She can say what she want to say. She can do what she want to do. No, fuck that. You a big curry pussy. That's exactly what you is. And it's all you going to be at the end of the day, man. You want to sit there and act like that? That's cool. November 5th came early for your bitch ass. And I loved every minute of it because she digged at him every time. He probably noticed it. If he didn't notice, he a dumbass. But I already know there's more people coming up. Be warned, Torian. Oh, yeah. KG, I know you in the chat. I hope you saw that community note of what Torian posted with the mac and cheese. That's how you make mac and cheese, sir. Be one.
Crazy. Oh, Define, before you say anything, back to Wallow J's point, he did remember he was disrespectful because again I mentioned Teslin, and remember the last interview that Donna did. That was the last interview he had with him, and when he was saying some stuff, he was very combative then, and then that was the last time Donna was on CNN. All right, Divine, you go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Torian. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. I saw this, man, and then this is why he never got anywhere because people could kind of see right through him. When you talk about nothing burgers and philosophy, nobody's trying to really hear all that. They want to see what type of character you have. And he failed the test and deliberately did that on purpose. When you think about it, she wanted to see where his manhood was at, and he failed the test. See, when someone does that to you, you're supposed to stop it right there. Hey, you're not going to sit and get on my podcast talking crazy. We can have a conversation, but you're going to respect me. That's what he should have did. He failed. So now, he wants to act all big and tough, and it's too late. I mean, whatever dignity you had left is gone, bro. And so let this lesson. He ain't learned this lesson. He hasn't fallen hard yet, but he is going to fall. It's just come back over here, and the problem is he think he knows everything. He think he knows. Oh, I know the answers. If you know the answers to everything, why didn't you win the nomination? And quit talking to us about philosophy and stuff that you don't honestly probably believe yourself, because obviously you practice this in the mirror every day. And I bet you when your wife saw you getting punked by Ann Coulter, you didn't get no nookie. So, because I mean, I had to learn over time how to be a man, and it's not just going to work and busting your butt. It's about protection. It's about having self-dignity, have self-respect for yourself. If you could be the worst person in the world, but you have self-respect for yourself, people are either going to hate it or respect it. This dude, I don't know. This dude has no balls. If he does, he has no spine. And he should just fall out and just go away. Just go away. Find your balls, find your manhood, figure it out. But don't talk to us about constitution, philosophy, and when you cannot even have some self-respect for yourself. Hey, can I put a YouTube link in your chat, Torian? It's not bad, but this is going to be related to this.
I don't think if you're not a mod, I don't think you can.
Oh, okay, man, this would kind of describe Vivek, but okay, all right, man.
All right, thanks for coming up.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
All right, and also too, make sure if y'all are coming up here to speak, to be in a quiet area, please. We about to get on that, because we try not to have too much background noise. So if you have some background noise, try to get somewhere where it's quiet before you come up here. I appreciate it. Xavier, what's going on?
Hey, brother Torian, B1.
B1.
This is I had to get on this one because, man, this clown is ridiculous. I was on KG's live stream, and he broke it, and I was just laughing my ass off. It was so ridiculous. Like, this man has no balls. I mean, I'm sorry, but the guy who spoke a few minutes ago, he can't find balls because he has none. Who does this? What was the point of this interview? Like, was it just to, I don't know, let her make you look like an ass? I don't understand. And you know the worst part of
I guess he was. This was his way of trying. I don't know, trying to get those Club Shay Shay numbers. That's not going to happen. Not with this. But like I told people, I told people he was going to come back with that podcast. If he dropped out, and KG said he had that podcast started up during his campaign. I said he saw the writing on the wall, and I told y'all last year that podcast was coming.
The thing is, I don't see him. He doesn't even have the self-respect to even check this lady and say, hey, quit with that disrespect, and just focus on what we're talking about. But I don't even know what they were talking about. What was the point? There was 0 point. He probably thought that if he brings someone on like an open WS piece of shit like and Skeletor, she was gonna give him a pat on the head and say, hey, good boy, you're better than all the rest. You're one of the good ones. But she checked him real quick, and she kept checking him, and he still didn't see it. It's like he blocked all the subtle insults out and just kept pushing he kept trying to move the conversation to the left and right. But like you rightly pointed out, that is not the case. That's not what they see. They just see a dark-skinned man trying to be better than they think he is, which is ridiculous. I just, man, it's sad. And I'm sorry for his wife and children, if he has any children, because man, this is gonna.
I think he has 2 kids. I think he has 2 kids.
Yeah, this is gonna haunt them, because your dad is the dad got cucked on live on the internet, and it's gonna be there for everyone to see for the rest of time. Good Lord. Man, I I love the fact that y'all clown on him. Y'all been on this particular issue, because man, if anyone deserves it, it's him. And yeah, and the last thing I'm gonna point out is he keeps black people in his conversation when black people are not supposed to be in your conversation. You're fight for yourself and leave black people out your mouth. But no, he has to bring black people every single time. He does this every single time. When he has nothing else to say, black people just come up magically. I'm like, bro, what are you even doing? Man, the dude pisses me off. Also, his voice is annoying. But I'm gonna leave it there.
That's not even his real tone. That's his performative voice.
He sounds like a puppet. He sounds like someone has their hand up his whatever. But yeah, thanks for bringing me on, bro.
All right, no problem. All right, shout out to Xavier for coming up. Next up, we have Let It Go. What's going on?
Oh, Taurine, I'm so happy to be the first woman on your chat or your panel thus far.
Okay.
And one thing I'll just speak very candidly. This is a running issue with many Asians that they are maybe purposely not understanding, or they just don't see it.
Mhm.
They just don't see it. First and foremost, there is a massive cultural, categorical, not a difference in degree, but a difference in kind. That's what Anne was touching on. She's going to troll, we all know Anne. Anne is very, very, very pro-American. She keeps it very white and Black America, Black America, because she stays focused on United States history. She writes her own books. She really stays in touch with what's going on here. It's not so much she's anti-immigrant. Her issue is you have to understand how it is here. And that's why she was emphasizing WASP. I've noticed throughout my life, a lot of people, even Black people, not knowing WASP, what that is, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. This goes directly, it's not just white race, it is literally ethnicity and culture. Those who have history underneath the British crown, those who speak English, those who have family, like Anne. Anne's mother has ties to the Mayflower. And one thing I know a lot of people in your chat don't see, there is a big difference how the English, Western Europeans, Northern Europeans, why they came here, and the Spanish and the Portuguese. Very different reasons. Very, very different reasons. And you can see it within the Americas. We all know the Spanish and Portuguese settlements, these countries now, they all speak Portuguese or Spanish. And we see how those countries have fared. And then you see the United States. There is something very unique as to what was done, who these people are, and why they came here. And whether or not you want to call it white colonizers, at the end of the day, it worked. It would work. Everybody's coming here. Everyone speaks English. When she's bringing up Indian, and there's some other people who have other YouTube channels. Like there's one woman I mentioned in your chat, Kim Iverson. They're hurt. They feel pressed. They think you can come here and just become white. That's not the case. That's never going to happen. It's more than just you can identify as white. I mean, they don't care. I knew a Filipino. I went to the school I went to. I knew a Filipino girl, a whole Filipino girl. On her driver's license, she put white. I was surprised, but I'm like, whatever, it's your choice. But none of those white girls ever saw her as a white woman. No man, because there is a difference. You can identify as white, but being viewed as a white man is very, very different. Nikki Haley can call herself white all day that she wants. Yeah, go ahead, identify as white, call yourself white. You will never be viewed as a white woman. A white woman. And even white passing Black women have this issue as well. There is something very unique to this personhood, to the ethnicity, to their tribe, Anglo-Saxon Protestant. This is why you will never enter. And lastly, furthermore, India, he's Hindu. He's Hindu. That does matter. And you can see how he responds. When you look at Protestant culture, Protestantism, there's a big focus on the individual. You taking responsibility for yourself. That's why she brings up Second Amendment. That's why she brings up private property. This is ingrained within Western tradition, specifically Protestant tradition. Are you going to infringe upon this? And keeps bringing this up, and she keeps it very surface level. But a lot of people just don't want to read and understand what she's saying. They just see it as racism. No, it's not. Do you understand this culture? When people bring up Second Amendment, it's more than just guns and all of this, and you're being violent. No, there is a responsibility by the white Protestant male where you are given land. If the land will never be taken away from you, but you are expected to protect yourself, your land, your family under God. And he does not seem to get it. And a lot of people, and Anne is kind of wondering, how are you, a millennial, born in Ohio, you're of Indian background, and you're Hindu? Like, it's always going to be in the back of their head, because there are plenty of Indians who are Christian, convert. Plenty of people from Pakistan convert to Christianity. I mean, India is 200 years British. It was the crown jewel of the British Empire. 200 years. They speak English. This is a country part of the Commonwealth. They speak English, so it's nothing new. But why is it you have not totally moved into the culture? You're here in the United States. And the last thing I'll say is him taking these shots at Black people, it makes him look weak, and white people see right through this. It goes right back to the point. What I'm saying is that you cannot stand as an individual man. You want to come across or identify as a white man. A white man's not going to keep Black people in his mouth like this. He's just going to do what needs to be done. I don't need to explain myself. I'm a white man. I do what I do. I move as I please. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. And also remember something, Tori.
Let it go. Let it go. You said that was your last point. You now going into another one.
I know. And also, I just want to just tell you and your chat. Remember, they don't serve in the military. Remember, about 1/4 to 1/3 of the United States military has always been Black, even during George Washington.
Let it go. We know the history, but I still have more people. I still have more people.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sam Ham, what's going on?
Hey.
Oh snap! We lost you just that fast. I don't know if it was a connection thing. Hopefully you can come back up. But let's move on to B First Is. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Tony? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Yo, that last caller, the female caller that you had, bro, she really put on the show. I'm like, damn, I gotta follow that. If I was a comedian, I'd be worried. But anyway, Vivek. Yo, I was on to Vivek. I think it was in 2022, 2 years ago, man. He was on Beer Mall, and he kind of used the George Floyd situation, and made somehow a connection to it and something that was going on. What's her name? Masa Amini, whatever her. Yeah, I can't say the name. But he did. But on Bill's show, he made that reference, and it just went over. You know how they do? They just let it go over. Bill didn't check him. Nobody checked him. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's the type of person he is. And then later on, he's running for president. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a bust. If there was a reason that I referred to that man as a butt plug, because he does butt plug stuff. Yeah. I mean, I know this. I'm gonna say pause. Let me say pause.
Yeah, please do, because I was like,
I no problem. I got you. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, pause. But he do butt plug things. I'm gonna say that because when he in some people's booties, the dude they won't say that. I respect that, but I'm a different breed of character. Like I said, if I was a comedian, yeah. But he was on people's booties, Donald Trump booties. But Ann Coulter really did put on the show as well. Like she called him out, and the woman had it directly correct. That WASP thing is so much overlooked as it pertains to how this culture is really manufactured. You know what I mean? So that's basically what I have to say, man. There was more, but my mind is on some other things at this time, and I need to get prepared for work. But I appreciate the platform, Tony. Thank you for this time, man. Vivek is out. Of course, she's out. We don't have to worry about that guy, man. And you are petty. Yeah, you petty.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, man. Stay well.
All right, that was B First Is. Next, we have CGI Kid. What's going on?
So, Tony. So, I watched this. I watched it on Kid. All I gotta say is, what I find funny is that. Oh, you want to hear my nickname for Vivek?
What is it?
Since he hoarded himself out to Ann Coulter, I call him Whoreface.
Okay.
So it's funny how he ain't had no smoke for Ann after she disrespected him straight to his face, which was altogether funny. Because I just wonder when he gonna learn? When is Vivek going to learn his little lesson?
I have no clue. He probably at this point he probably won't.
And what is it with him bringing us into his mouth all the time? Bringing us
Because that's the only play that he has. Like I always tell people, the foundation of everyone's grift, no matter who they are, usually is involving Black people or the degrading of Black people, specifically Black Americans. Every single time, that's how they get their leg up. And the thing is, they have to stay on that as much as possible. And when they start to branch off, where you see what's happening with Candace Owens.
Mm-hmm. And I guess he ain't learned nothing from his failed campaign that he had to drop when he got to drop out of the presidential race. But at least Ann kept it honest with him, though. She didn't beat around the bush. She kept it honest and her true way that she does things. Ever since I came into the real about Ann Coulter years ago.
Right. Was that all?
Yep, that's all.
All right. Thanks for coming up. All right. Next we have Don P. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Torian?
I'm doing good.
Man, I'm trying to move. Oh, great. Perfect. A train comes by just as I'm getting ready to talk. Perfect.
You want me
to?
Okay.
I'll say this because it's going now. All around the world, it's the same song, man. It's the same song. They always going to punch down on us. But see, Vivek, and your other caller brought it up, fails to mention that, your people were enslaved and shipped around the world. So what makes you think you're better than us? And, the day is coming that the bottom is going to be on the top. And we're seeing these signs that is showing that this occurrence is going to happen, like the Northern Lights we saw the other day, for the first time where they're not supposed to be. So it's all good. Keep on, because it's going to be all good when those who are on the bottom are now on the top. And I'll land it there.
I appreciate you. Thanks for calling in. All right, next up we have Nat. What's going on? Nat, if you are there, you are muted. All right, well, I guess, I don't know, they just fell off. All right, next up we have Some Guy. What's going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So there's a lot going on with this. I don't know your political leaning or philosophical leaning, but there's a lot going on with this because this is happening in Britain as well. So I don't know if do you know Rishi Sunak?
Can't say that I do.
So he's the Prime Minister for Britain, and he's from the same background as Vivek, this guy Vivek. Mm-hmm. So they're recent immigrants. Their family are recent immigrants who've come from an Indian background, where the only way to actually progress in British rule was to basically sell out. And it's now coming over into like obviously this situation into America and Britain. So you'd have minority candidates for elections doing the same thing they did in, say, Nigeria or India, because we also have British candidates which are doing the same thing as this Vivek guy. And there's a lot to say about this, to be honest. I just can't believe it's happening in America.
Believe it. It's like I said, this thing it's a global thing. Like, and it's funny because I think it was yesterday. I don't know if I was talking about it maybe in a video or maybe I don't know where I was at when I was talking about it. I said a lot of the times, a lot of the stuff that goes on over here it tends to trickle overseas, and for some reason, it always ends up, I would guess you could say, in your neck of the woods, and vice versa. It's almost like they're playing ping pong with each other, so to speak.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. But how much time do I have?
Not much. Like you
Okay,
probably only got like a couple more seconds.
Okay, so what I would really look at for your viewers, I don't know this channel, but just keep an eye on Rishi Sunak. He's now pushing like this fear mongering about immigration, and obviously he's selling out really hard. And the last thing is, he was never elected by the people. Like the British people would probably never elect him because obviously he's too brown for them. The only way he got in is because the previous prime minister did so poorly that they had to elect the next person in internally. So he was never elected. So that's just all I'd say for now. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thanks for coming up. All right, next up we have Grace. What's going on?
Oh, hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
I think this is kind of like really a really good learning lesson for those of us who are Black Americans. And I wasn't really interested in listening to the entire interview, but I'm glad you did show it because what I'm seeing is that a lot of people misunderstand what America is. Yeah, it's a country, but it's a country with a history. America is also an ideology, it's a culture, it's so many things. And I think that I think a lot of immigrants try to understand America from an academic sense, meaning they try to understand who we are by just simply going to school and studying it. And one of the things that Ann was pointing out is that the connection to the soil is really important.
And that's what she was telling, and that's what she was telling him, but he wasn't getting it. And like I said, she was throwing the dig. Some of them were subtle, but some of them were like, like right in your face with it.
Yeah, because she could be an outright racist, but it's probably more difficult for her to outwardly train the buffer class on what the role of the buffer is. The role of the buffer is to secure the position of white privilege.
And that's how she's always been for as long as we've known about her.
Yeah. And I think part of the frustration is that when she was mentioning how so many immigrants are coming from the third world, these dictatorships, it's like, okay, now we've got it. You guys are living however you're living in your countries. Okay, now we have to teach you how to capitalize off of racism, how to secure our positions in it. And you're just not getting it. So it becomes, I got to teach you to walk and eat at the same time. And they just don't have enough time to do that because Black Americans are becoming more laser focused on what we want to do. So they don't have a lot of time to catch them up to speed. And I think that's part of where the frustration is coming from, because she was dropping so many jewels in the interview, not for us, but more so for him. And he was just not picking up on it at all. And as a Black American, for me, I think that outside of maybe this podcast or outside of the Black political, how we communicate amongst ourselves, I'm really not going to have a lot to say about it because I just want to see how the buffer classes maneuver themselves out of this conundrum that they've gotten themselves into. Because what's more than racism in this country, and we know racism is the biggest issue that this country is in, but is also this concept of freedom. It's also this concept of the pursuit of happiness and all those things that America promises to us. So for me, I think that one, yeah, they can bang on us to show their loyalty, but that's just the first step. There's a whole lot more to it, and I think that he just missed it. So and me personally, I wouldn't trust somebody that just got here either to become the president. So I agree with her as well. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that.
Okay. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you. Shout out to Grace. Next up, we have Denzemus. What's going on?
Yo, man, what's up? Hope your day's going good.
It's going good.
Yes, excellent, excellent. Same as well. But yeah, Vivek, I'm just glad that he got what he deserved. Usually, people like him don't learn until he's like way, way down in the pits of hell. I seriously doubt we've seen the worst of it yet for him. Fortunately, I can't wait till it gets worse for him, potentially. So yeah, I've had to deal with. There's one thing I'm not gonna say all Indians are like this for the sake of show because I don't want to get you striked or anything. But I've dealt with so many Indians before. I'm currently dealing with one now, unfortunately, at my job, and I know you said they're considered Asians. I did not know that, first of all. But I will say
India is in the continent of Asia.
Okay. Now I know. But yeah, I've dealt with these people in public. I'm dealing with one at work, and I'm going to say, not all of them, but a very, very good amount of them are extremely xenophobic towards Black people. I'm talking to the point where I've had some of my Caucasian acquaintances had to literally get on one of them one time because just quick story. I was in the mall one time, and those little massage chairs that they have in the mall. I just sat down on one of them, and this lady she just started going off on me and stuff like that, and we had to tell her off, and it's just like, wow. So I can only imagine how these people are in their country. Well, I can't even imagine because I've seen them call Black people dirt, skins, and all these other type of epithets in their own country. So I know, obviously, when they come over here, they're gonna have that same mentality when they come in our neighborhoods and stuff like that. What was I about to say? To quote this movie, with Vivek, he thinks he's in with he really thinks that he's in with them folks, and it's like, he's not even an N-word to them. I know that sounds messed up. He's not even an N-word to them at this point.
Yes, he is. They just won't call
really?
him that. But that. Oh yeah. Listen, if Ann could have called him that on that interview or whatever it is that they had, she would have said it. If they see him definitely as that, and then especially on the fact that he's of a darker hue. He couldn't even pass. And then with his name, that's why with people like Nimrata, because y'all call it Nikki Haley, I call her by her real name. She's more lighter, on the lighter side, so she could pass. And I know she had some work done, especially to that nose. But with him, he could not pass in any capacity, and not with the skin tone, not even with the name. He could not pass at all.
I'm surprised that he hasn't, used bleaching cream. That's like really, really big over there. I'm very surprised he hasn't used bleaching cream. He seemed like he would be the perfect candidate for that type of self-hate.
Right. All right, I have to actually let you go because I still have a whole lot of more people that I have to get through.
All righty, thank you, and B1.
B1, appreciate you. All right, next up we have Miss Nisi. What's going on?
Hey, Torian, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Straight to the point. Vivek, that Jimmy Neutron pompadour wearing pussy ass saying, you know what? He was a fraud from day one, and he's a pussy, and it's been proven. Ann Coulter, we know what she is, and I appreciate her forthrightness. No guesswork with that bitch.
Exactly. As I've been saying, that's why I said those are the ones we like, the ones that are out there with it. They don't be trying to hide it and everything like that. I said Ann Coulter is probably one of the more overt ones. And this is a whole woman right here. You got a lot of the PC men that won't even go as far as she did, out of fear of quote unquote being canceled or being seen a certain type of way. She's like, why? What?
Well, Spirited Carolyn Bryant 2.0.
Exactly.
Hey, I appreciate it. I want to know who my enemy is up front.
Exactly.
But anyway, that's all I got to say, Boo Boo. You always be blessed.
You too. Thank you for coming up.
Bye bye.
Shout out to Miss Nisi. Next up, we have oh, by the way, y'all, Vivek's white. Listen, I know who Vivek's white heart is. I know who that is. That's going to be the last person I bring up. So it's only 4 people left. So if anyone tries to come up, I'm gonna like literally like kick you out of the studio. Just giving y'all a heads up because it's almost 1:30. All right, next up we got Scoop 2003. What's going on?
What's going on, Torian?
I'm doing good.
Man, what is up with these people? Where do they get these people from? Man, they always go after the self-hate. Anybody that want to talk bad about us, anybody that can't stand black people, anybody that wants to put in laws to keep us oppressed, but that's all right. They need to cut them checks, and we could be done with all of them. Just cut us our checks, and we'll show you how we get down. You see what I'm saying? We showed you with Black Wall Street and all these other. They can never get anywhere without sabotaging us. We are their enemy. We gonna always be there. That kumbaya ain't never going to happen when it's us and them. It's too much history. And they not trying to undo any of it. They are not trying to apologize for it. And they are not trying to make it right. So as far as I'm concerned, until then, hey, you can bring it. We'll give you that smoke. B1.
B1. Shout out to Scoop for coming up. Next up, we have Antonio. What's going on?
What's going on, good brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. I just want to say that what really gets me about these Vivek types, these formula types, or these bootleg types is that they'll learn all the racism. They'll learn all the tropes. They'll learn all this stuff. They'll learn ways to degrade us, talk down to us, undermine us, but they never learn that white supremacy always prevails.
Exactly. And again, these would be the same people that will try to tell you that white supremacy is not a thing. Ramen noodle, you just found out that day that it is, but he'll keep tap dancing around it, as you saw by his response, giving her grace and all of that type of stuff. I'm like, okay, but now, like I said, you've exposed yourself, because when I read that other tweet from that other person, they basically told you about yourself. They said, we been knew that Ann was this way. Everyone knew. Apparently, you didn't get the memo. And when you did, and she told you to your face on your show, instead of you checking her, you let her go on and talk and throw subtle and overt digs at you for over an hour. Like I keep telling people, this interview that they did, what y'all saw was only 10 minutes of an interview that was cut up. The whole thing is over an hour long. And y'all can, if y'all can stomach it, y'all can go watch the whole hour and watch her take digs at him some more that y'all did not see.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, if they need to learn something, that's what they need to learn. If they don't give a hoot about you, and it is because of your statement. It is because of you. And when they do, they through with you. I land my plane, brother. Peace to you.
I appreciate you. Thanks for coming up. All right, next up we have Reparations Nation. What's going on?
What's going on, Terry, in the chat room? Everybody else out there, B1. I'm just going to piggyback on pretty much what everybody else said. Vivek was very soft. He let her take overt digs at him, his country, his culture, his people, his wife, his children, the whole 9 yards. So he's very soft. We know Ann Coulter is outright racist, but, at least she puts it out there on Front Street for us to see. That's a good thing, so we know who our enemy is. And just, again, piggyback on what everybody said, when people like Vivek come up and they start taking digs at us, they don't realize that they just like us. He's white adjacent, but he don't even get to be white adjacent because his skin tone. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
he had to realize and understand that, but he got his wake up call. It seems to not be working yet. and maybe it's because he's still trying to grift on, whatever he's grifting on, and keep some of those followers. But it's going to end very soon, very, very soon for him. And that's just
Right.
where I'm gonna land my plane at that. So
Appreciate
B1,
it.
y'all.
B1. All right, the last person we got coming up, and I already know who it is, but I'll play along. Vivek's White Heart. What's up, KG?
Why are we laughing at this man and his love for white women?
It's pathetic. I was just laughing at at what she was saying to him, and it was like you let this woman like literally insult you for over an hour, and you got all this smoke for us and none for her.
But what did I tell y'all last year? He got a problem with black women.
Oh yeah, he has a problem with black people, period. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but we're just gonna keep it because this is Miss Ann.
Yeah, because of agenda. I get it because of agenda thing.
Right. Like you had a fellow Republican tell you, listen, this is not what black people want. They don't want to hear what you spin. Your message got to be a little clear especially if you want to get away from the rest of the pack. And he started copying attitudes on her. But Miss Ann, she said, I prefer the Sri Lankans over you. And they're like next door to each other. So it tells you everything. She know what goes on in India. She sees the videos of them over there beating their women. She sees it.
Oh, everybody sees it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He won't talk about that though.
Nope.
And especially if you want to be president or at least somewhere in that cabinet, you're gonna have to talk about foreign policy. That's a big thing, especially because they're part of BRICS. That's a big thing. But you see how you didn't want to touch that because the people are involved. It's all about money.
Yep.
But that was a beautiful piece of tape.
Yeah, it really is. And like I told people, I try to direct a little bit of traffic to your channel because you went over the whole thing, like the whole hour. I don't even know how you managed to do it. Because
I told you politics for me is so much fun. But
I know you like, yeah, you the politics guy, and it's like, like this is probably the most into politics that I've been ever. And I don't know.
Didn't I tell you this last year?
I don't know if it's because it's an election year or it's because of the people that's in it. I think it's more of the latter.
I know what it is. It's because you're seeing the wake up calls, and the wake up calls makes it fun. It makes it more exciting to get into it. Because look, most people will tell you they don't care about politics, but what did they do this year? As soon as Candace Owens starts getting out there, now they all like, oh shit, I never knew about this woman. Yay, she's cool. Okay, go back in her history. Let me see if she's really that cool.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember that. Like, I'm like, how do y'all just get exposed to this woman this year? This woman been around for the last few years. And like I was telling someone before you came up, how all these grifters at the core, at the foundation, they have to degrade black people in order to get noticed. And then that's when they want to start feeling themselves and try to branch off. But then, when you branch a little too far off and start flying towards the sun, like she did, then you all listen, they pushed her out so far out of her grift, she ended up leaving her religion for her husband.
Bruh.
Oh,
listen. Now see that right there. That's another rabbit hole. I know you're not gonna go down. I'll probably leave that one alone. Oh, I got another. Speaking of Candace, I got another video coming up soon about her. Is that what I think it is?
Is it the consultations?
Bruh.
Bro. Oh,
wait,
man.
When are you dropping yours?
I'll probably maybe next week.
I'm dropping mine tomorrow, bro.
When I saw that, I said, you cannot be serious. I said, that's how you know how far her grift has fallen.
But
when you're doing something like
that she broke when she got fired. What did I tell you that day? She broke. I told you that.
When I saw that, I said, you can't. I said, if you purchase that, you are an idiot. You are a fool.
Oh, I think some dude trolled her and said, I bought $100,000 worth, so I'm gonna talk to you.
Right.
So
man, listen.
Like 2 hours.
I said, did you see that them prices?
I saw all of them. I was bringing my wife and baby home from the airport, and I showed it to her. When I told her the price of the voice call, or the video
Yes.
call, bro,
Yes.
she looked at me. I was like 1500 what? She said, what do you mean? I was like 1500 what? She was like per minute. I was like, yes. And she lost her mind.
I said that woman literally could make like someone's annual salary on one 15-minute call.
No,
not
on a 15-minute call, because that's only like 200. That's only like 22,000.
No. Did you see the new price?
She changed it.
Yes, it's not 1,500.
Oh, I might have to update it if she changed.
Exactly. That's why I was like, wait a minute. No, the number it's higher, and I'm like, wow.
Oh, I got another one you can do. I'll give you free game. Now the new red pill grift is going after the PP people. I don't want to say the word here.
DM it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you on X. You gotta see this, and you won't believe who's involved.
Somehow I wouldn't be surprised if I do see who's involved.
But if you're not, before I go, because I know you want to go do like your 70 push-ups and get your Kodiak pancakes. I understand.
I already did that. Well, not the pancakes, but
no, you're gonna go make some more, and then you're gonna put Cosmo Fury and mac and cheese between it and make a top. I know how you get down. And Cosmo, it's all jokes. I liked your mac and cheese. It's probably more wet than my paws. Anyway, I need you over there at 3:00. I need everybody there at 3:00 because we got to talk about this Dexter Taylor case. This is very important for Black people.
Okay, I think I saw you posted up on your in your Discord.
Yeah, if that's probably gonna be one of my most important broadcasts ever.
Okay,
because they just fired the cannon shots at us. They just told us our rights have no meaning in this country.
I'll check. I'll be there.
All right, cool. But yeah, let me go get some lunch.
All right.
Put down the Kodiak pancakes. All right, y'all.
All right.
Be safe. And you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence. You always stay on code. Oh, I saw like 4 people ask what my channel was. Can I put the link in there?
Yeah, you can. Kid Gravity Beyond is the name of his channel, but you can put the link in there.
Yeah, I'll put the link for the show. And yeah, hopefully I see you all over there because we really got to talk about this.
All right, he just put the link in the chat for those who wanted it.
All right. Okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to go eat.
All right. Shout out to KG for coming up and everyone that is going to bring this show to a close. Man, this was one for the books. For the first time ever on my channel, I got over 1,000 viewers. We cracked 1,500 live viewers today. That is crazy. I can't believe it. Like I reached a goal that I didn't even really have, to be quite honest with you. I came close last year with a stream I did, but it only got to like 950. But we went up 1,500 in the middle of the day on a Monday. Y'all was really locked in for this one, but definitely shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to all the new subscribers. I got a significant subscriber jump during this stream. I saw like at least 10 or 15 new subscriber notifications came in, but those are just the ones they could catch. But I'm sure there were more that came in along with that. Shout out to the people that contributed financially to the super chat. I greatly appreciate that. Everybody who came up and spoke, I appreciate you. Also, shout out to Sam Ham because they sent me a Cash App. I greatly appreciate that as well. Man, I'm very grateful that everyone was able to come through today. Tomorrow there won't be a midday tomorrow. I try to keep my midday streams every other day so I don't burn myself out. But of course, there will be an 11 a.m. premiere video coming tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and upload that now, and then I'll put the window up later on in the evening. But also, shout out to the replay gang. For those of y'all who didn't catch the live, make sure y'all go ahead and catch this. I'm telling you, y'all gonna get a good laugh at the first part of the video, like before the calls start rolling in. Well, before people start coming up. With that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe and be one.